Thank y'all for joining for another episode of I Know Dope People. And today my guest is my cousin Zakia Flagg. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship, how when you have uncertain things happen in your life, how you press forward, and she can encourage all of us on how she's done that. Before we get started with our guest, I just want to give a shout out to everyone that came out to the Baltimore Comedy Factory last week. I was there performing in Baltimore, Maryland, and my people came through. Yes, they did. I was so happy to see everyone to be home. I hadn't performed at the Baltimore Comedy Factory since 2019. That's one of the clubs that I got started at as a professional comedian in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area. So here are some of the photos from that show. Okay, them people, they was up in there. They came through. She on the stage trying to look cute. And this is after the show. My folks was hanging out with us. My mom came through. Some of my really good, awesome girlfriends and all hung around. So I thank you all so much for coming out and supporting. I also want to shout out my niece, Aishah. She turned 26 on May 4th. And I thought about it. I said, I ain't shout out everybody else. My nephew Kareem turned 30 in January. My niece Naya, she turned 30 in March. So I need to make sure I mention my other nieces and my nephew. And also, y'all know about Mr. Prince Adonis. He turned 1 in February. I did mention him. So that's Assad, and we were celebrating Kwanzaa at my sister Razia's house, and that's my nephew Kareem. So I wanted to shout her out. Also, some really quick information. I don't know if y'all heard, but Serena Williams is pregnant with her second baby. With her and her hubby announced that at the Met Gala that passed this week a few days ago. I had a picture. So let's talk about this. So I had the picture of Serena. It's on my computer someplace. It's showing on my desktop, but evidently the way it's situated, it won't let me take it. So I apologize, Serena. But yeah, she was looking cute in her black and white, showing off her little her bun. But you know, Serena, that booty always gonna be popping. Hey, African American woman. I want to send condolences to the family of the great actor, singer Harry Belafonte. He passed at the age of 96. He was very instrumental in the civil rights movement. If you all did not know, he helped plan the March on Washington, where Dr. King gave the famous speech, "I Have a Dream." He was very strong in the civil rights community. And he is from Harlem, New York, if you all did not know that. Yes. And one thing I'll remember, my mom used to take me and my siblings to the Black Film Festival. I believe it was at NJIT in Newark, New Jersey. And two of the actors that stand out the most to me in the movies were Harry Belafonte and Miss Lena Horne. So my condolences to Harry Belafonte's family, and thank you for all of your contributions. Also, if you did not hear that, Carolyn Bryant Doman, she was the woman who accused Emmett Till of whistling at her, and he lost his life at the age of 14. He was brutally murdered. She died at 88. Emmett Till was murdered at the age of 14. Interesting. And she was never, she actually later on said that that was not true what she said Emmett Till did, but she was never, she never faced any actions for that. Okay, so that is all for Queen Aishah's Quickies. Okay, so coming to the I Know Dope People couch stage studio. This is my cousin from Newark, New Jersey. We're not blood cousins, but y'all know in our generation, right? When we say cousins, we don't know we're not related until we get grown and we don't see one another at each other's family reunions and funerals and stuff. Well, we'll see more of each other at funerals than family reunions. But no worries. Me and Zakia have been knowing each other. I don't know. I know it was 7th grade or before. We did 7th and 8th grade together. We graduated together from Mount Vernon in Ivy Hill, New Jersey. Zakia was always funny and geeky and smart. As my dad said, she always been a a real smart young lady. She's always been a really smart young lady. When we graduated from junior high, I went on to Benedictine Academy, all girls Catholic schools. Zakia went on to Arts High, which is like all of the talent in Newark goes to Arts High. You got to be like extra special, kind of smart to go to Arts High. Moving forward, and today, Zakia is a mother of 3. She is a widow, and she is the CEO of 2 awesome, great, growing businesses, Flagg Labor, aka Capital Cleaning Services, based out of Union, New Jersey. So Zakia actually took over these businesses 10 years ago in October when her husband Joe was murdered. Joe was murdered. Of course, that was a shock. I remember Celeste, who was producing the show today. Celeste actually reached out to me and told me, and I said, huh? I was so shocked, right? I remember visiting Joe and Zakia, and the girls was just so small and so cute, and just a really warm, cool spirit, funny. He was time enough for Zakia. He would say something slick. He said something slick one time. I was like, well, I don't know if I'm supposed to fight him or not, but I ain't really like it. But Zakia would hold her own. So just a really dope couple. And Zakia shared how they met and all. But when he was murdered, Zakia had to press forward. She had to press forward with continuing to raise her children. She had to press forward to be able to provide for herself and her family. And she took over the businesses. And the businesses are very successful. She's had contracts with local government, federal government, private businesses, the Marriott, the Newark Airport Hotel. And we're going to get into all of that, how she can encourage someone else and how she may have been encouraged by someone else and guidance she may have received to move forward, to keep pressing, even at that difficult time. I remember calling her. She wouldn't answer the phone, but she would just text. I just couldn't even. It was so hard for me, being such a great friend and cousin, that I was like, oh my gosh, will Zakia ever speak? Will she ever have that beautiful smile again? And she does. So please welcome my family, Zakia S. Flagg.
Good morning. Hello. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Assalamu alaikum.
How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your yes.
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank
and
you.
I got a correction. We're cousins, but I have 2 cousins on this show.
That's right.
Celeste.
That's right.
I just wanted to make that clear because Celeste's my cousin too. Because Celeste's mom had married my Uncle Boyd, so she my cousin too.
Right, but this the funny thing. So when Celeste saw it's so like the way spirit works. So when Celeste saw that I was promoting you on the show, she texted me. She said, "You gonna have my cousin on the show?" I said, "That's my cousin."
Exactly.
So we all family.
Like that. We all family up in here. So that's good. That's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely, we are. And I wanted to surprise you. That's why I never told you that she was when she was producing the show today. I said,
nice. I like that.
And it worked out because Katanya normally produces the show.
Okay.
And Celeste, when she hit me up about you being on, then she told me she was available, and it worked out that Katanya wasn't available. So you see how everything just came together. So the triplet 3 cousins, Jersey in the house. I can't.
We all from Jersey. That's what it is.
Yes.
Yep.
The nail polish is popping.
Thank you.
So we are going to get right into it. So again, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for just being open to share not just the success of your business, but how you've come through the trial, the experience, the journey of losing your spouse and then having to pick up. And in your bio, you talked about how he had relationships with his clients. Mm-hmm. And then those clients reached out to you and knew that you needed to be able to provide for yourself.
And I didn't know what I was doing.
Yes.
I didn't have a clue. I had babies in one arm and the phone in the next, and I used to cry at night.
Oh.
And that's how I figured it out. I knew what to do from remembering what I would see him do.
Right.
But for the most part, I didn't know how to organize guys and get guys to a construction site, because Joe used to take them to the construction site. He would drive them there. He had vans. So I didn't, I didn't have that. He owned he owned the business with his brother at the time. They were, partners. So they had it very organized. And it was like, now I had to do it. Steve kind of went his own way. That's Joe's brother. He went his own way because initially the business was Flagg World. So when he went his own way and Joe passed away, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So a lot of the clients that he had good relationships with that did come to the funeral, they slipped me their cards and they was like, if you can still send us laborers, we'll still send you work. And I was like, yeah, of course, the hustling Newark spirit in me. I don't know what to do, but I know I could figure it out.
Right. That's right.
So that's what happened.
That's right. So tell us this. So what did you do? What field were you in? Work were you doing before you took over Flagg Labor?
So actually I was working at, which is now Chase. I was working at WAMU Bank. I was the branch manager in Orange, 300 Main Street. It's still there. And so completely different world, banking and finance.
Okay. And that's how you and Joe met, right?
Yes, absolutely. I didn't know I told you that, but yes.
It's in your bio. It's in your bio.
Oh, it is? Okay, yeah, he was one of my business customers. Yes, he was. Yup. And awesome. Flirting. You know how guys do.
Yes. Like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this money.
Exactly. And
he's from Brooklyn, right?
He's from Brooklyn, yes.
Okay. Awesome. So the way that you just picked up, because how old were the children at the time?
So the children had just turned 4 and 5 because he died in October. So our birthdays are July, August, and September. So I had just turned, the age I was, because we're not going to. And then my oldest had just turned 5 and my youngest had just turned 4. And then he passed away that October. So they were still really, really small. Like my youngest was still in preschool. She wasn't even in kindergarten yet.
Right.
And we was sharing the commute in the morning. Like you take her to preschool, I'll take her to kindergarten. Now I had to do all of that.
Right.
And get guys to the site. That was the most challenging thing, was getting the guys to the site, because again, I couldn't drive them there. So I changed it where I started hiring guys that could get themselves there. I made that a prerequisite. I was like, you know what? I can give you the job, but you need to be able to have transportation.
Right.
There's no longer a shuttle available.
You say available. No, and that's a great thing, but that's a real thing, right?
There's no longer a shuttle available. I can still get you a check at the end of the week. I can still figure that out. But I can't get you to the job site.
Yeah. So I wonder, and this is just, I wonder how many of the staff were able to make a way and how many had to leave because they couldn't make a way for transportation.
Well, actually, it was quite a bit. A lot of them actually fell off for numerous reasons. They couldn't make it. They didn't want to work with me versus Joe, because Joe kind of babied them. He would not only take them there, but he would buy them lunch. He would, buy them boots. He would buy them jackets. Like, Joe was a giver. He was a big time giver. So
Zakia giver, but you just wasn't giving that way.
I wasn't giving all of that. I didn't have all of hey Jamila, I didn't have all of that to give. Yes. So I wasn't gonna buy you boots and a jacket and get you to the job site and give you a check. It was like, here's the job, and if you can get there, that's awesome. And if you can't, then that's okay. What I did to overcome that is I started posting on Craigslist, which I quickly learned was hit or miss. I don't have anything bad to say about Craigslist, because Craigslist actually did help me out, even though it was hit or miss. And what I would do is I would just overcompensate. So if a client called me and said, send me 4 guys to a job site, I would schedule 12. Because I knew that there was going to be fallout. I knew that on the phone I was going to get, yeah, Miss Flagg, I'm gonna be there. Yeah, where's that? Yeah. And then in the morning when the guys come, it's only going to be 5 that show up or 4 that show up.
Your cousins from Newark.
Exactly. I had to overcompensate so that I could still be on the winning side with the clients.
Right. Absolutely. So tell us about some of your projects. What's the first project that you got that wasn't already something that just came from brand new? Joe had not been working on it, and you were able to build it, make the connections and all on your own.
Okay. So the first project like that, it came from him a little bit, especially in the beginning, but it was the Marriott. It was the Marriott in Westbury, New York. Yes, This project right here. I think I can't see my guys, but the guys should be in there. We did that project from ground zero. I have the pictures. That's the airport. Don't show that one yet. That's a different project. But the first one you showed, the Marriott, we did that from ground zero, from like dirt. Like there was nothing there except for space.
Okay.
And Steve Paragallo, he's the project manager at Rockinelli Construction. He just
Mm-hmm.
kind of took a liking to me, and he just was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what, Miss Flagg, if you can keep this thing going, I'll keep you working.
Awesome.
And and I was able to do it, and it was really, really good. So much that while we were on that project, the people who, like, when we got to the end of the project and it was time to put the beds and the furniture in the Marriott,
Mm-hmm.
we got another job from
Mm-hmm.
that company, because they was like, oh, could you give us guys for 2 weeks just to put the furniture in the Marriott? So like, now we
Mm-hmm.
built it. That's one client. But then
Mm.
we had one of their clients say,
Yes.
listen, can you give us guys to kind of
Yes.
offload the furniture off the trucks? So I
Yes.
was like, of course. And so, from there, it just kind of kept going. Social
Mm-hmm.
media became more aggressive, which is allowing you to now post and kind of show your work.
Mm-hmm.
And, so it just kind of kept going from there.
Very, very good. And then what other projects have you had, like major all projects are important. So let's not.
All projects are important.
Right.
We only do commercial though. So if
Mm-hmm.
people tend to think like they're all big projects, which, a lot of them are. We did Port Chester apartment complex in
Okay.
Port Chester, New York. It's like 300 units. We
Okay.
did that.
Mm-hmm.
We did Hilton. We did
Mm-hmm.
a million, what is it called? StoreQuest storage places and Cube
Okay.
Smarts. We
Okay.
did tons of those. I'm surprised I didn't send you the picture, but we
Mm-hmm.
did tons and tons of Cube Smarts. And we
Okay.
even worked a little bit through COVID, because
Okay.
luckily the construction industry is one of the industries that did not shut down during
Right.
COVID. Construction actually got more aggressive because the
Mm-hmm.
government was having them build makeshift hospitals all over the place.
Right. And the
So
streets were quiet. So it was easier to
exactly,
do construction.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
construction actually is one of those industries that didn't shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, during COVID, we actually got to send guys here in New Jersey, Bergen County. We did a huge Cube Smart storage bin, and then we
Mm-hmm.
did one in Florham Park as well called Extra Space Storage
Okay.
Bin. Yeah.
Okay. So explain to us, because you stated that you do commercial, your projects are commercial. So explain the difference between commercial construction. Well, we already know that, but commercial cleaning, because
Hey,
you say
Rashida. Commercial construction
cleaning.
and commercial cleaning.
Right. Well, all the construction pretty much will be commercial,
Right.
construction, right? But with the cleanings, like to say, someone says, "Oh, I want to hire them for cleaning," but it's personal. You don't do that. So
Right.
explain
So we
what
don't.
entailed. What goes into commercial cleaning?
I got you. I get it. So basically, we don't do anything residential.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we do is going to be commercial. Be it construction labor, which we just talked about, projects like the Marriott apartment complexes, etc. We just talked about that, Newark Airport, etc. Now, when it comes to commercial cleaning, as we all know, there's residential, there's your
Mm-hmm.
home and apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the school, there's
Mm-hmm.
the local high school, there is
Mm-hmm.
the local restaurant. So
Mm-hmm.
those are considered commercial dwellings.
Mm-hmm.
So we only clean commercial dwellings.
Mm-hmm.
We won't clean a residential property at all. I
Right.
have zero interest in that. And
Mm-hmm.
whoever's welcome to come clean my residential property, because I have enough to clean my own residential property. We got teenagers up in here. You know what I mean? It's teenagers. It's constant. And during COVID, it just could never stay clean, because the kitchen never closed.
Right.
The kitchen
Right.
during COVID, it was a diner. It just never. It was
Not a diner. And we from Jersey. We from Jersey. We love our diners, honey.
Girl. Okay, it was Top's Diner up in here. So anyway, that's the primary difference between residential and commercial, is that we basically just don't do homes.
Right.
So
Or your apartment.
You won't do homes, you won't do your apartment. We're more of like a janitorial service.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we pursue when we do go for these commercial cleanings. We do all kind of commercial cleanings. There's multiple kinds, which people don't know this. There's the commercial cleaning that you do once a construction job site is over, and that's called a final clean. So a final clean is the job site's over, there's dust everywhere, you need to take the tape off of stuff, you need to basically get the building prepared for the builder to pass inspection and for him to deliver it to his client. Okay. So that's called a final clean.
Okay.
Then there's janitorial service, which most commercial cleaners like myself, that's what we all pursue, because now you're getting into contracts, and that's what we all want. Hence Galls. Galls is the current contract that I'm on. I've been on that contract for 3 years.
Okay.
I just renewed that contract. That's a great thing. That's something to applaud. Anybody that's a good thing.
Shout out to renewal.
We want to, hey Jabril, we definitely want to get into renewing contracts once you get to this level. So commercial cleaning janitorial service can be anywhere from once or twice a month, however often the client wants it. But the goal of that again is going to be, you want to secure contracts. You want to keep it going as long as possible. You want to build the relationships as long as possible, which brings me to the workers. And I hate to jump ahead, but I just saw Jabril sign in, and Jabril and I just had a conversation about this yesterday, because Jabril, hey Robin, my cousin Robin, another one of my cousins. I got all my
they coming through and supporting stuff. Yes.
Okay, it's good day. It's a good day. I'm off to a good weekend. Love it. But me and Jabril was just talking. He actually has a construction business as well, and he does do residential properties. He does like renovations. And we were just talking about the labor itself, meaning the workers. And the reason why I'm segueing into this just for a second is because the workers can actually cost you your relationship. And they can actually, absolutely.
Yes.
And it's not good. So seeing his name made me go all the way over there.
And that brings up a great point. So me being from Newark, New Jersey, and I love my people. However, Newark, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Detroit, they cousins cities. And we know some of our cousins, you don't invite them everywhere, right? So how do you go about hiring? What is your process? Of course, you do standard background checks and all that type of thing. But how do you do a 90-day probation? Is that a thing with your company to kind of see how they move? Or
well, first of all, I don't really do background checks as much as I used to. We did do them when Joe was here, believe it or not. But we hire reentry anyway.
So, okay, that's what I was going to say. Yes.
Yeah, we have a great rapport with NJ Reentry. We met Governor McGreevy when he first started that whole campaign and that whole movement. So we actually do hire reentry. The only time that it gets a little tricky with reentry is when you're talking about jobs like the airport, because when it comes to the airport, we have to do the background check. Yes. It's a whole different background check. It's actually $400 per candidate, and if you have certain things on your jacket, you're not even going to be able to work there. So we might as well not even do the background check. So that's the only time where I kind of have to do the background check, because that would be a government job and they have their own rules. But as far as me, Zakia, if it's a private builder or a private general contractor that just wants labor or carpenters, then for the most part, I don't really do background checks. And as far as the 90-day, I do ask them, no, I do say, do you have a jacket? And I tell them, I'd be like, don't be scared, because just tell me. It's okay. It lets me know.
What's a jacket? Tell everybody what's a jacket.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now that's too urban. My bad. I asked them, do you have a criminal record?
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry.
A jacket.
So
you learned something new today. Who got a jacket? And we ain't talking about you about to come out your jacket because the weather changing. Who got a jacket?
Right. Who has a criminal background? Exactly. So so I and as far as the 90 days or whatever, do I hold them for 90 days? I don't, because again, one thing I noticed since I started being an employer, because the state recognizes me as an employer. I've been audited. We won't talk about that, but I've been audited by New York and New Jersey as an employer. So I'm official. Okay. So, but one thing I've noticed since I became an employer is that it's easier for me to get my laborers to commit to the jobs if the jobs are going to be longer.
Yes.
So when clients call me, I had a client call me like maybe 2 weeks ago, Redcom Construction in Westfield, New Jersey. And they was like, oh, Miss Flagg, could you send me some laborers for 2 days? And I'm like, no, I can't, because what happens is they don't want to do day labor. The guys, they don't want to work for 2 days. They don't. They have bills and responsibilities like everybody else, and they would like something a lot longer. So I find that when I can offer them a job, an opportunity that's like 6 months or 9 months or a year, then they're more committed to it. Because other than that, they will not show up. They'll make their money that they need to make, and then they'll disappear and things of that nature. And now I'm kind of just jammed up with the client. The client's like, has to keep their project moving, and my guys aren't showing up. It makes me not look good. And I have lost jobs that way, just being transparent.
Yeah. And it also makes, I think that the relationship that you're creating with the workers that you're, whether they know it or not, that you're looking out for their best interest. You're like, I'm not going to send them on a 2-day job. Like,
no, I won't do
like,
it.
call me when you have something, and there's no disrespect to the business. You're like, but call me because, but that's compassion. I think that's a great thing too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they see that you see them.
Yes.
They see that you see them. So talk to us about the Newark Airport.
Oh, so
contract.
The airport. That was my very, very first government job. I had to go through a gang of red tape. Gang of red tape. And what I mean by that is, first of all, I had to become Port Authority certified. I had to become WMBE certified, which I already was WMBE certified in New Jersey, but I let it expire. And I let it expire because I felt like the certification wasn't doing anything for me. I feel like, as a small business owner myself, and a lot of small business owners, new, old, existing, whatever, they kind of force these things on us, and they kind of sell it like, yeah, your industry needs to hire WMBEs. And they almost sell it as if it's a guarantee that you're going to get work. They kind of sell it that way. They do. They're like, yeah, become WMBE, whatever. And it's just not true. However, it is still a political component to it. And when you're doing something like trying to work at the airport, which is a government job, it's my very first government job in these 10 years. But when you try to do something like work at the airport, they have their criterias and they have their, prerequisites that they need. And being WMBE and being Port Authority certified is one of those things. Another thing you have to have when you're trying to pursue certain jobs is they want to see your money. They want to make sure you have the money to fund the jobs, because they're not going to pay you for 60 to 90 days. So they need to make sure that you can carry your payroll for 60 to 90 days until and that's the end result of the parking garage. That's our first job that we were able to send support. And we did not build that job. Let me make that clear. Because people call me like, oh, Zakia, you can help me do my so-and-so. No, we send support staff to the builders. That's what we do. Like, our guys are support. Our guys, the most skilled they're going to be is going to be carpenters. Okay. And carpenters would do the punch list at the end of the job. Are you WOSB or in a hub zone? I don't know what WOSB is. And I think I am in a hub zone, but I'm not hub zone certified. But yes, I diverse. I forgot actually what I was even talking about.
So you were saying,
I was talking about the airport and how I got
on. Punch out. You said the guys that they're the most qualified, they are carpenters, and they'll do the punch out.
The punch list. And then I was also talking about the WMBE and how to get on the airport, since that was my first job. I said there's a lot of red tape. So yes, lots of red tape. You have to have your insurance in place. You have to be able to carry your payroll for 60 to 90 days. There is ways around that. And all of this stuff is kind of what I want to share with business owners that I've learned. Like, they'll try to hold you for 90 days, but you can not sign your contract, because you have times when you get a contract, you have like that 3-day window where you can kind of negotiate. And so within your contract, you can just say, well, I want to get paid in 60 days. Women own. Yes, Beverly. I am that.
Beverly's from Jersey too.
Hey, Beverly.
She live here.
Huh?
She lives here. She another one of my cousins. She another one of our cousins.
Oh, okay. These are all our cousins. This is the cousin show today.
That's right.
You should know dope people and dope cousins.
That's right. Dope cousins matter.
Yep. So yeah. So when negotiating your contracts, you just kind of have to make it realistic for you. I know a lot of people, when they're new at business, they want to kind of go for the bigger contracts, but realistically, you have to go for contracts that you can afford to carry until they want to pay you. And they're going to tell you that. They're going to say, well, we'll pay you in 90 days. And you can say, well, can I get an exception for 60? And they'll say yes or no. And you have to do that. I know a lot of times with the private builders, they'll kind of hold you out, and they can kind of make you not have any money. They can drain all your money out from just simply not paying you. Again, we're small businesses.
So is that something that they do intentionally, or why would they drain you out? Or why would you have to wait so long outside of the 60 or 90 days?
It's not that they would do it intentionally. What happens sometimes with private builders and private GCs is that they will try to pay you on what's called contingent pay. I don't accept contingency pay because my bills aren't contingent. My bills are consistent, not contingent.
Did she enunciate all her words?
Yes. So therefore, sometimes when you're dealing with smaller companies, they try to say, well, we'll pay you in 60 days, but only after the client pays them. And my thing is, you're hiring me, you're using my labor to get your job done that you got from the client. So therefore, I want you to commit to paying me. Now, when you're dealing with the government, you don't have to worry about that. Grand Rising, Karen, when you're dealing with the government, you don't have to worry about that. They're gonna pay like clockwork. It's fantastic. The only thing with them is you want to just try to get past that 60, 90-day thing. That's it. But once you get past that, they're going to pay you every 30 days like clockwork. Versus a private, they may say, like I said, oh, well, it's contingent upon us receiving our check. Then we'll cut your check. No.
She said no.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. I have to pass on that contract. That's all.
No, that's
respectfully.
Yes, respectfully. So what are some of your future goals, things that you aspire to achieve, and the projects that you look forward to doing in the next year or so?
That's a good question. So definitely just booking more work, because it's all about booking work. I'm currently in negotiations to go back to the airport, because the thing that you just showed, the parking garage, that's the parking garage at Newark Airport. If you drive past Newark Airport right now, you'll see the parking garage right on the side of the road. You can literally see it. So again, we sent labor support to that. So now we're in talks with Newark Airport to do the rental car, inside where the rental car area is. We're in talks with, we've been talking to them since February, by the way, just to let all of y'all know how long these negotiations can go on. So we've been talking to them since February, March, April. My contract's been coming since April. It's May. I still have no contract. And I talked to them yesterday, and now they're saying August. So my point is that, my goal is to just keep the pipeline full with work and just keep building relationships. I know it sounds corny, but that's really all you can do, no matter what your business is. No matter whatever the business is, you just kind of have to keep building relationships, keep putting yourself out there. And me, what I do is I have two businesses, which is Flagg Labor, Capital Clean, as well as Brow Bar. And that's in Westfield, New Jersey. And I actually created Brow Bar. It's a beauty business. I created Brow Bar for when capital cleaning gets slow, so that I could kind of give my own self a part-time job.
But it's Brow Bar. Let's talk about that, honey.
So Brow Bar, BROW, Brow Bar is
your brows done.
You get your brows done, your PMU, your permanent makeup. And I started that in like 2015, 2016. And I mean, it's an interesting industry, because everybody wants to do brows and so forth and so on. But what I'm doing with Brow Bar is I'm actually encouraging and also hiring other brow artists that are a lot more talented than me. I'm not scared to say that. And I'm just trying to kind of let them work, and I just kind of manage the business from that. Like, so in other words, with Brow Bar, I have more worker bees than I do brows. I used to do brows, but I don't think that that's my thing. And I feel like people's faces are very important. It's your face, and this is permanent makeup. So I've hired some of the best in the industry that that want to work there, and I kind of let them do the brows right out of my studio, and it works out perfectly.
Right.
It's perfect business. It's perfect.
So it's like the salon studios that they have, and people come in.
It's exactly like that.
I love it.
It's exactly like that. I tried to buy one of those, and I'm still waiting on a return call. I wanted to buy one of those salon suites, I think it's called.
Yes.
It just got approved in Jersey maybe 3 years ago. Like right before COVID, they just started allowing us to do that in Jersey. And someone from Atlanta, a Black lady, I don't know her name, but she opened one in Wayne as soon as it got approved in New Jersey. I'm like, them Atlanta people, they stay on it. You all the way from Atlanta. How do you open your first one in New Jersey and the lady still live in Atlanta?
Yeah,
she still lived there. I'm like, oh my goodness. So anyway, yes, I'm trying to do that same concept out of my studio at Brow Bar. It's just easier for me that way. Yes, please make an appointment next time you come home.
Beverly just got hers done, and I think she got hers done in Florida, like the Panama City, Florida area, and she has what they call, I guess, the ombre.
Oh yes, we do the ombre brow. See, I should have sent you some brow pictures too.
Yeah, I know nothing about this, but see, here's the thing: my girlfriend, one of my friends, when I was living in Los Angeles, my girlfriend Nicoletta, Nicoletta was on it back in 2016, 17. She went to school for it. She started teaching, and she wanted to do mine. I said, no. I said, this is my face. Because my thing is like when your face starts shifting in age and life, what's going to happen to my eyebrows? I'm still going to be saying, and it's supposed to be, So,
well, I agree. I have my eyebrows done. I don't think I should have got them done. See, they looking a little suspect. That's why I have on my glasses because, you know, I have on my glasses because people in the industry that I know, because now I know all the good people. Now I know all the top brow people now that I didn't let a person that, I'm not going to say she was bad. She was just okay. She wasn't really bad. But I just, if I would have waited, I would have went for a different artist because now it's like, I don't want to do it again. I don't, because it's my face.
So you can reverse it? I mean, when you say do it again, do you have to?
Like in other words, I don't want to get the touch up. I don't want to get the touch up because I don't want to have two brows. Like I don't want to put another brow on top of these.
I'm not doing this.
Huh?
You said you don't want to put another brow on top of. So does it fade away or? Yeah,
it's all faded. It don't look faded to you,
girl. I just see eyebrows. I don't even notice the difference.
Okay, good. Well, that's even better.
So let's show her picture. Show Zakia picture. That picture, I was like, yo, this picture is popping.
That's the AI picture, and I'm hoping that I'm not.
Girl, let me tell you something. We're not gonna talk about, but I'm gonna send you the pictures that I got.
Okay. They pull it. That's the AI pictures. They're doing that now. They're making you look so snatched. I said, I wish I did.
I don't look snatched. Girl, we're not.
Okay, we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah, so I'm gonna send you. So this is Zakia's picture. This picture, look.
Now, see, I don't look like that. I wish I did.
Yes. Yes, Hunty. Yes.
Okay, so let me be. Now, see, now this is me. Do I look like that? No, take that picture down. I'm so embarrassed. I tried to wear the pink shirt and I tried to wear my hair to the side so I could look as much as possible. But what had happened with that picture? Because technically, I just did that picture 3 weeks ago. Let's talk about it.
It's a beautiful picture.
It's a beautiful picture. But I sent it to this site called tryitonai.com because I needed professional photos. Mm-hmm. And they do professional photos for $17. So I sent it to the site. They sent me back a whole bunch of pictures. And that was the closest one to how I used to look anyway. so that's now one of my new professional shots. And
it's a beautiful picture, but mine ain't come out that way. I'm going to forward you the email on mine. I was like, man.
You didn't like any of yours?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
They gave me a weave and all type. I was. What does you?
They gave me a weave on a lot of mine too. Right. That's why I said that's the only one that was closest to like this hair. I was like,
even the one with that. They gave me hair too.
Right.
Let's stay hard is all I'm gonna say. You tried it.
I tried.
Yeah. No, they tried it. So right. I like the fact that you said with the brow bar, you gave yourself a part-time job. I think definitely. That is so great, like creating opportunities for yourself. And I think that's one thing, like being from Newark and being from the Islamic, the Muslim community there, we are entrepreneurs from not birth, from creation.
Yes. The bean pies, the incense, the oils. Yes.
Because, we've had plenty of conversations about Shabazz bean pies, honey.
Definitely.
Okay,
and the steak and take back in the day, all
Girl,
of that.
Wait a minute. Why my sister said Malik came down to visit Razia in Augusta. That's my brother and my sister. And he brought them Italian hot dogs. Razia's husband had never had an Italian hot dog before. She was like, wait a minute. He brought the hot dog. He got it yesterday because he flew early in the morning. She said, Aishah, why that hot dog was the bomb? She said she said the bread wasn't soggy. She said it was dressed and everything. And it was beef. Razia don't eat beef. I said, let me find out you had a best hot dog. Remember best hot dogs? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's nothing like coming home and just the whole experience of the community, the food we're able to get, just the greeting, just the love from the community. I think that because we know that some of our cousins, cousins that ain't cousins or close cousins, that you have a business that you're able to support them in reentry. Right? That
absolutely,
and it's a win-win situation for everybody. So I think that's really dope. Yes, I think that's really dope. Have you come across working with your staff, your workers, of people that you may have known from like back in the day, from grade school or anything, and they come to work for your company?
No, I don't have any people like that. I had a few family members and a few in-laws working for me initially.
Okay.
But not actually. It's so funny you say that. That's actually not true. Just recently at Gall's, at my one commercial cleaning where I said it just renewed the contract, I had to pretty much fire everybody at the North Jersey location because we clean 3 locations for Galls. We clean their 2 South Jersey locations, which is Ewing and Pennington, and we clean their 1 North Jersey location, which is Newark. It's across the street from Symphony Hall. Like literally, like if you go to Symphony Hall, you look, you'll see it.
Yes. Okay.
So, you know, Newark people sometimes, some of them, they have like a little bit of a tude about working and whatever. So I just had to fire everyone because I didn't want to lose my contract with the client. And so now I actually have a cousin. I do have a cousin working for me, 2 cousins working for me at Galls. I have a cousin from my mama's side and a cousin from my daddy's side. And that's actually true. But as far as the construction, no, it was a lot of in-laws in the beginning that kind of stayed on, a lot of Joe's people. But then as the time went on, they kind of faded off. They kind of was like, yeah, Joe used to pay me so-and-so, sis, you need to up that. And I'm just like, yeah, nah, I don't believe you. I don't know. I don't care. I mean, this is what it is. So, you know, so bye.
I don't believe you. I don't care. And no disrespect, but this is a business.
I mean, you know what it is? It's like, it's definitely business. And I find that when we're a small business, like myself and like so many small business, people want to challenge us all the time.
Especially women. How do you deal with that?
Especially at the Brown Bar. At the Brown Bar, the challenge is consistent. They're always, because it's women, and women are nitpicky. And it is their face, so I'll give them that. But they're nitpicky. It's kind of like the beautician. You know, like we I don't want to say we nitpick with our beauticians, but it's like, you know what I mean? They want to make you wait and you paying and you kind of got a low key attitude about that. It's like people always want to challenge small businesses. And I just think that that's so unfortunate because, you know, my thing is me, Amazon, Tesla, you know, all of them, Target, we all have to pay taxes. We all have to pay insurance. We all have to, you know, abide to certain rules in order to conduct business in this country, meaning federal rules as well as state rules. So we all have to comply with that. So for you to want to challenge my business, but when you go to a business like Honda, you won't challenge the fact that they're saying, oh, no, we fixed your car, but the labor fee is this and the fees is this. You just pay that.
Right. Absolutely.
But when it's a small business, you want to challenge it. And one thing too about small businesses that I have to say is that we do, and this is for Black small businesses, we do need to be a lot more responsible in our product and service because I remember
excellent. As my girlfriend say, be excellent.
We have to, because I remember Killer Mike went around the country about a year or so ago, and he documented a lot of it. And everything he needed, he seeked out Black businesses. He did it on purpose. And he did it to support them. And he did it to show that we as Black businesses, small business owners, have to be more responsible. And sure shooting, some of them he was able to have successful transactions with, and others of them, you know, they opened late, they added this, they didn't have that. So, you know, we as small businesses, especially Black small businesses, we have to remain professional. Even yourself, you're a brand, you're Queen Aishah, your brand's been out here for what, 20, 30 years. I remember you was on BET Comic View or something. Like, how old is that show? Like, I'm showing my age. You know what I mean? But that Comic View was like the 80s or 90s or something. 90s, yes. You know, but you was able to keep your brand going.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
It's true, because it's not just Black businesses, because sometimes I'm going to support you because you're Black and you have a great product. I'm not going to support nonsense because I work hard for my money and my energy and all of that stuff is important. So I'm not going to just support you because you're Black and you give me attitude. Same thing with the actor, actress, movie, all of that type of stuff, right? I'm going to support, oh, this is Black and it's great. I see some movies, I'm like, nah, I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go and support it, but we have to give service. My girlfriend, Michelle, we talk about this all the time. We have to be excellent. We cannot, like you said, you cannot be excellent for somebody else. And then you see somebody that look like you and you're going to think you're going to give me half service. No, you're going to be excellent with me too. Or I'm going to take my business elsewhere. I'm going to support my thing is always to support Black first, women, you understand? Men, and I'll go on. I have friends that are not Black. They are not brown. Those are my people. They have a great product and I'll support them. But I'm going to support my people first. And I also need us to support, meaning putting back into our communities and all of those types of things as well. But how do you handle that as a Black woman in a construction cleaning industry, which is probably rare.
And male dominated.
And that's what I'm saying. It's probably rare. How do you keep yourself, keep your business, stay professional and still give the business when you need to give the business, if you understand what I mean.
I completely understand. And what I do is I basically, and I hate to say it this way, but in the construction industry specifically, it's a male dominated and it's white male dominated. So a lot of times, you have your Cheryl McKissick, who is huge in construction. She's a Black woman. She's huge, and I think her dad actually started it, and then they just kind of kept going. And I've been pursuing her forever. But besides Cheryl McKissick, it's primarily like a white male dominated industry, and it's not easy because they don't want to talk to me. They don't. They really don't. But you just have to be humble. You have to approach them anyway. At least I have to approach them anyway because in the end of the day, I do need the work. I do need the contracts. In construction, one thing about the construction industry is that your job is only as long as your job is. So, for example, if you're building the airport, for example, sure, the airport project's been going on for over 3 years, but guess what? It's not going to go on forever. And once that project is over, you have to have something else in your pipeline. Hence the thing I'm working on from February till now. You always have to be getting stuff in your pipeline, right? Because the jobs are always closing. Yes, they're always closing. The owners of these jobs, they want their projects at some point,
right? Done, completed.
Yeah, they want them. They're like, okay, you've milked us enough. Now we want our project so that we can get some of our money back. We want to open the Marriott now. Yes, we paid you enough. Right. So that's how I do it. I just kind of stay out there. I'm very selective about business mixers. I don't go to all of them anymore because, back when I first got into this industry, I used to go to a lot of different business mixers. And unfortunately, what we've all know is that I can't really deal with the gatekeepers. I have to go straight to the decision makers. I really do. And it's hard to get to them no matter what industry you're in. Again, you're a comedian. You've been on a brand for over 20 years. You know how it is. It's not always easy to get to the decision makers, but those are the people that I pursue. And it's just not easy to get to them. But I try to go around, as they call it, the gatekeepers.
Yes, because they're a bit much.
They're a bit much. And it's like they're blocking
decision makers.
Huh?
They think they are the decision makers.
Yes, and they're blocking you. And when you think about it, it's strictly relationships. Everything is about relationships. I was telling a friend this recently, a male friend of mine. I said, if you think about anybody that you admire, like big celebrities or big athletes or any of them, how did they get there? They got there from relationships. They got there from the right people who had the authority to give them that start. And that's true in any industry. That's true even if you're going to get a 9 to 5 at Target. And no disrespect to working at Target, because I would work at Target. But my point is that if you go to get a job at Target, right, and there's only 2 jobs available and 6 of y'all apply, the decision maker is going to pick the 2. So it still goes back to that.
Yes.
It doesn't matter the level.
Right. So let me ask you this. So you have your children. Are you grooming them for the business to take over the business, or what is that? Look at her face.
Next caller. So let me stop.
She said, "Come again."
So my children. Okay. So my children are officially teenagers. All my children are teenagers. We have 13, 14, 18. Everybody's a teenager, right? So what I would like for them to do, not necessarily take over the business if they don't want to, although they're welcome to do that. I want them to help me with my business because I need social media representation. I need somebody to post and make TikToks and do all these things that I don't know how to do, that I'm not good at doing. And they basically won't do it for me. So yeah.
Have you offered them a check?
I've offered them money. I said, because they're always on it. So I'm like, well, make some TikToks for mommy and, post it. Because, and I said, for everyone you do that I like, I'll give you $10. And I would think that they would jump on
$10
that.
like here.
How much I need to offer them? They my kids. We got food. I'm already the poober. You know what a poober is?
So Uber and something.
It's a parent Uber. I put it all together and I call it the poober. So I'm already the poober. Okay, I'm poobers all over. And Brooke, she don't mind. Brooke, let me tell you, she will call me and say, Mom, can you bring me something? Could you bring me a sandwich? Because I don't like what they have for the school lunch. Could you stop your day? And can you bring me a sandwich?
And how many times have you done it?
Not a lot. I do it every now and then because, I am a mom, but yeah. My
like, make it happen.
They'll run you around.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
So, with the kids, I just want them to help me out with the social if they can, because that's more of their era. As you know, we didn't grow up with social.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And these kids are pretty good at it.
That's what they do. You got to keep a youngin' in the pocket, but your kid's not really rocking with you like that.
Right.
So talk to me about your 10-year goal for your cleaning, construction, and for your brow bar.
Okay, so for cleaning and construction, my 10-year goal, but this has been my goal the whole time, is to do $1 million. $1 million is really not a lot. Joe did it before he left here. He did it twice. We're not millionaires. We wasn't millionaires when it happened. We're not millionaires now. So Joe did it, so I feel like I could do it. And his mentality around it was, it's easy. It's 5 jobs at 250. It's 2 jobs at 500,000. Like, it's 3 jobs at 300,000. Like, and I get those kind of jobs, but I don't get them all in 1 year. I'll get like 1 job. It's 250. The year is over. Now I'm on you know what I mean? Like, so my goal is to like do that in 1 year and just have that on paper in 1 year, because it's going to kind of grow my business, and it's going to make a different client want to work with me. Because these clients, like I mentioned earlier, they want to know, what can you afford to be on? Can you afford to be on their jobs? They want to know that too. So my goal.
So they look at your past. They look at your past work and who
they
you
look
work
at
with and what you got paid.
Years. Yes, they want to see, and they also want to see what kind of projects have you worked on.
Okay.
Right. So my goal is to like get it to like where I can show that, oh, I've made $1 million in a year. Because again, $1 million is just not a lot. It's just not. It's 100,000 10 times. It's just not a lot of money. So I want to kind of get there. I don't think it's as hard as it's being for me. For some reason, I'm able to book multiple jobs in 1 calendar year. Right. So that's what I want to do. Sorry, let me just send that to voicemail. And then for Brow Bar, my goal for Brow Bar is to maybe move to a different space. Because right now I'm doing it out of my initial studio, which only has 1 chair. So it's fine, it's working. But if I can just have like the salon suites that we talked about, if I can have something similar to that, where it's maybe 3 stations or at least 2 or 3 stations. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just more stations, so I can have more artists in there. And again, just kind of let that business run itself. Because since I've stepped back from Brow Bar and started letting other people do the brows, is better. It's just better, because I was trying to do the brows, and I just got to be honest, I'm just not that great at it.
And you can handle the business part.
Oh, I'm great at the business part. I'm fantastic at that. But I just the physical brows, it's a person's face, and I just have to have integrity for their face.
I understand that, and I appreciate that. That's important. No, for real, because like I get threaded, and I love where I get threaded at, right? But I be like, just clean me up,
right?
I think they be making mistakes. And then they be making me thin. I'm like, I just want my brows to be a little thick, not thick, thick, just thick. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. So the integrity part is very important, because a lot of times people want to do stuff just to make the money, and you don't have the integrity and character to go with it. So you out of line. Right. Now, Jabril said, when you said working, he said to work with him. That should be one of your goals, working with Jabril.
Hey, Jabril. Jabril's actually from our side too. Class of 88, like me.
Hey, Jabril.
Oh, Celeste, that's nice. Thank you, Celeste. I won't, though. She said I can practice.
She said I won't, though.
Because that's your pretty face. But yes, Jabril, I already told you we could definitely do some things together. I can help you, to get manpower on your projects. Because again, he does like home renovations. Yeah, so for sure.
Awesome. And then also, this is just me. I don't know if Jabril projects are sometimes 1 or 2 days of smaller projects that you don't want to support, but you may have somebody that just doesn't have the availability for something long term. And you can send them or direct them to Jabril or someone else, if that's the case.
Yes. His projects are they're a little bit more than 1 or 2 days, but they're anywhere from like a month to 2 months tops.
Okay.
Because he does like home renovations, like gutting it out or doing the kitchen over or anything that's like renovating the home. So those kind of projects are usually like a month to 6 weeks, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So tell us about, because you're wanting to support new entrepreneurs, business. You do workshops for business owners, and then tell us about SBA week.
This week is SBA Business Week. So I don't do any workshops for entrepreneurs, but I want to get into that. That's a part of my 10-year goal. That's a part of my 10-year goal. And the reason why I'm so passionate about that is because I see people that, they're starting their own business, or they want to start their own business, and they just don't know what to do or how to do it and this and that. And then also they'll say, they'll go to classes or they'll go to people that are making them pay for free information. And I'm like, why are you paying for free information? If you want to start a business, you don't need to pay anyone else to get the knowledge to start it. So I don't know how I would do that as far as doing it for free, but those are the kind of things that I would like to get into for the future as far as entrepreneurship. I would like to talk to potential business owners and just let them know how to start a business, how to get your LLC from your state, how to go about getting insurance. What kind of insurance do you need? What kind of licensing do you need for your industry? How to rent commercial space, how to negotiate contracts. Because that's another thing. I've got to get this in before we close, is that one thing I learned from Baby, the rapper, and I completely agree with him, all contracts are negotiable. That's period. And people are so intimidated by that. Like, I got this contract. I got to go with what they said. No. My friend Londell Wright, he's another business owner. He works with everybody. He's with Khaled right this second in LA doing something for Khaled, whatever. And he's working Essence this year. He got called to do Essence. And I have to use Londell because he's a current business owner like me, and we go back and forth when we get contracts. And so his most recent contract that he got for Essence, he was so excited that he just signed the contract. He was like, oh my God, this is such a dope contract, whatever. Because he's working Essence right now, and it's not even Essence yet.
Right. That's right. That prep work. That's right. That pre-work is real.
So he signed the contract.
That's the work.
And that's what he said. He's always on calls with them. He's flying all over the place, whatever. So I have to use him as an example because he was so excited. He signed the contract, and then he found out after he signed the contract that his pay is at the end. I said, Londell, how would you sign a contract? When I get a contract, the very first thing I read,
looking at the money,
not only the money. That's what I told him, and that's what he looked at.
No, look at the money, but how you getting it? When you getting it? Right.
You gotta look at the payment terms. Yes, look at the number. Of course. Okay, that number's looking good. I can make that work. Now, how you plan on getting me this money? You gotta look at the payment terms. And Londell didn't look at that, and of course he had to go renegotiate it, and it did work out for him.
Good.
But it doesn't always work out. So these are the kind of things that in the future I would like to share with potential business owners. Like, listen, all contracts are negotiable. Not only the payment terms, but the scope of work and when it starts. Like, are you able to really start that day? The expectations of the clients. You have to also look at stuff like, are they going to hold retainage on you? Because some of these contracts, they'll hold, like, especially in my industry, construction, which is understandable. So they'll hold maybe 10% of the contract until the end. So every time I'm getting paid, they're keeping a little. So if I'm supposed to get paid $1,000, they might keep 80 every time they pay me.
Right.
And then at the end, if my guy stole something, broke something, didn't do something,
it's subtracted, right?
Exactly. And if it's all good, they give it back. So these are the kind of things that I would like to get across to business owners. Like, listen, and then it's a lot. It gets a lot, but I've learned so much, and I want to share it for free. I don't want to. I don't think people should be charging them for that. Like, I can show you. It's like
somebody showed it to them for free, and now they want to charge.
Why are you paying for free information?
But then you do have people that you got to charge because some people be wasting your time. And they be doing too much. So you got to be like, this is a consultation fee because you're doing too much. You don't say that to them, but you get the idea. But you can start doing videos, like you can do your lives. You can go on your IG, and that's just a matter of you just pressing live. Tell your kids to show you how to do that and how to end it. And you can just post that video up. Just sharing short information that's really powerful. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the things that, if we're constantly doing that, and you can say to someone, I'm giving this for free, so I hope in turn somebody else would do the same for somebody else, because we're here for one another. We need to support one another.
Yes.
And lastly, Zakia, I want to ask you this. So with the passing of Joe, and because it was a murder, and then you're still going on, you're still raising your children, still doing the business, still having your personal life, how do you maintain yourself? How do you feed your spirit? How did you mourn? Because you're still mourning.
That's a great question. So honestly, it's been 10 years in October, and my spirit has been all over the place in these 10 years. Like I said, when it first happened, I used to cry at night because I was so busy during the day trying to figure out my life. It was just crazy. So like, I didn't pay my mortgage for a whole year. That's another show. and I'll teach people how to do that. I got my house out of foreclosure. It was just, yeah, sure. So, it was a lot going on. So, my spirit has been all over the place. But in most recent years, I would say like the past like 2 or 3 years, maybe even 3 or 4 years, I finally started being interested in dating. Because I wasn't really even interested. Just the thought of dating kind of drained me out. And it's kind of still does now that I'm physically trying it. The drain out is what I would expected it to be. It's very draining, dating. It's very draining. So I'm doing that. I exercise sometimes. I travel. I love to travel. Before COVID, I traveled a lot. I haven't really traveled as much after COVID, but I love to travel to feed my spirit. I find that when I leave New Jersey and get on a flight and go anywhere else, my spirit gets refreshed. It's very weird. It's very weird. Like places like Florida, California, anywhere hot, it refreshes my spirit. It does. And when I can't get to those places, I go to the beach a lot. I've always said Jersey Shore is like, I love Jersey Shore.
Okay.
I'm so thankful that we have it and we can get there within an hour.
How about that?
I'm so thankful for that. That's like a give thanks all day. So those are the kind of things I do. In the summer, I stay at the beach. I definitely travel. Recently started dating, even though that's draining. I don't know what that's doing to my spirit. That might be putting a little bit of mix. That I don't know what that's doing actually. That's just kind of swirling it around. But I don't know. But as far as the positive, yeah, right. It's doing that, right? Right, it's doing that part. But I'm like, well, damn, so how are we doing it? And what does that word mean? Because there's new language out here too. Spinning the block and
what's spinning the block? Wait a minute. What is
I can't. I don't know. It's just
what's language. Spinning the block?
Spinning the block is like when you go back around. So like if you were one place or with one person and you go back to them, you spent around back to them.
That's a U-turn, ain't it? But go ahead.
I didn't make that up. But yeah, so those are the kind of things that I like to do. Just travel, go to the beach. I like to read. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Have quiet time with myself. That's it.
Well, good. Because that's always important because we have to keep going on, which is interesting that when you're mourning, you still have to do all of these things to survive and make yourself not even go into more turmoil while you're mourning. So just to know that you had a way, and I'm sure you had a great community near you that supported you in coming through.
I wanted to answer Beverly's question real quick, not to cut you off. Are you considering 8A via SBA? It's a great way to get federal contracts, direct awards. I don't know what that is. I'm down with the SBA though. It's SBA Business Week, Beverly. I don't know if she knows that, but it's their business week, and I'm definitely a part of the SBA team. But I don't know if I'm 8A. I'm a part of SAM, and there's a lot of government contracts in SAM. So I just wanted to answer her question.
So that's how. So how do you look for your work? You get calls, and then like with the government, I guess you have. Do you have a portal that you go into?
Portal. Awesome. We have a portal, and now that I'm down with Port Authority has their own portal. You can go in there and bid for jobs. As far as the government, they have SAM, which is System Award Management, which is all the government jobs, all the federal jobs in the country. So of course you got to drill it down to your state, but yeah.
Okay. Well, Zakia, thank you.
This was fantastic. I was so nervous at first, but this was fantastic.
I was like, I can't believe we did 7th and 8th grade together. We did home economics together. We learned how to sew when we was in 7th grade. Our home economics teacher, I can't remember her name, but she is the grandmother of what's the girl that sings, "You can ring my bell. You can ring my bell." Ring. You ain't know that. Yes.
I know that. Okay.
And what was our 7th grade teacher name? He used to wear his Jordache jeans.
All I remember was Miss Love from what's the name of that school, Mount Vernon.
That's what I'm saying, Mount Vernon. You don't remember our teacher? He was Caucasian, slim, tall, sleek.
Was he brown skin?
He was Caucasian.
Oh, Caucasian. Oh my God,
he was white.
I definitely don't remember. Girl, I've had some years with with herbal experiences. So my memory cells aren't as sharp as person like yourself who probably doesn't indulge. So yeah.
At all. But I watched. Yeah. Well, thank you, Zakia.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Of Flagg Labor and Capital Cleaning LLC. We wish you all the absolute best. Yes. Keep pressing forward. Take care of yourself. Keep that beautiful smile. Take care of them babies. Peace and blessings. Thank you, everybody, for watching today. We appreciate you watching and checking out another dope episode of I Know Dope People with Zakia.
Yes. Hey. Yes. Have a good Saturday, everybody.
Have an amazing day. Peace.
Thank
Celeste,
you for joining.
Thank you, Celeste.
Thank you, Beverly.
Thank you.
Peace.